Welcome to Life-Changing Challengers, the podcast where passion meets purpose. I'm Brad Minus, your host, guiding you through stories of transformation and triumph, from endurance feats to overcoming adversity. Our guests defy the limits and inspire action. Ready to ignite your desire and incinerate your barriers? Join us. Your journey to the extraordinary begins now. And welcome back to another episode of Life-Changing Challengers. Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? I have Richard Trillion Mantey on the line with us today. There he is. And he's an author. He's got the 4-step method of losing weight, but the full title is You Will Keep Struggling to Lose Weight Until You Try the 4-Step Method of Losing Weight by Richard Trillion Mantey. Hey, Richard, how you doing?
Fantastic. Thank you for asking. How are you doing?
I'm doing fabulous now. Thank you very much. So, Richard, can you tell us maybe a little bit about your childhood? You know, where you grew up? What was it like to be Richard as a kid?
Yeah, I was born in West Africa, in Ghana. West Africa in Ghana. I grew up there. I was living there. I was 14 years old. I came to Canada, but I'm gonna talk to you a little bit more about when I was in Africa, because I came to Canada when I was 14 years old. But my life in Ghana when I was 14 years old, I was a little stubborn kid. You know, I like to do what I want to do. You know, and when you tell me not to do something, I will do what you said I shouldn't do. But you have to give me a reason why I shouldn't do what you said. If you give me the reason and the reason makes sense, then I will not do it. But if you tell me not to do it, I have to go do it to find out why you said I shouldn't do it. You know, so right. I was really I have a mind of my own. And basically, I'm Aquarius, by the way. You know, my horoscope sign is Aquarius. You know, so if you know about horoscope signs, Aquarius are very, stubborn people. You know, in a good way. You know, when we put our mind onto something, we actually focus and get it done. You know, so I look at it in a very good way. So growing up in Africa, I grew up around 5 brothers. I have 5 brothers. You know, so we used to fight a lot. You know, just imagine 5 brothers. I have one sister, and she's the oldest. You know. So it wasn't really fun, you know, because it's like a big competition between the brothers. You know how brothers are. Everybody want to be on top, you know. So it was interesting. My background is religious. I grew up in the church, basically. So I believe in God, you know, but I'm not someone that go to church every Sunday. You know, I just have faith that is God, you know. So both my mom and dad were priests though, but they wanted me to be a pastor. But when I grew up, I disappointed them. I just want to be an author, you know. So my background basically is a Christian. So my first book I ever read was the Bible, you know. So I grew up with 5 brothers and 1 sister. With a mom, they're both Christians. And unfortunately, they both passed away. May their soul rest in perfect peace, you know. And they actually brought me up to actually respect people and to love people and not to, judge anybody, to have full respect for people. You know, if you grow up in a Christian religion, you have to have a lot of common sense and respect people. So that's basically my bringing up. So I have like a sense of high respect for everybody I meet. I don't judge nobody. I just take people the way they are. So I grew up like that. Very respectful family. And they taught us to work hard and to get what you're looking for in life. So I grew up like that. And I was there when I was 14 years old. My dad came to Canada, and he brought me to Canada. And that's what my journey began. I've lived here in Canada longer than I've lived in Ghana. But my experience that I have in Africa was wonderful. I wouldn't change that for any other experience, because that was my foundation, you know.
So, you know what? None of us get out there very often, and it's actually, we hear more stereotypical stuff that comes out of Africa. So can you give us just a little bit of what it was like to, the environment around Ghana?
It's not like how you hear it in America and in Canada. It's actually beautiful, you know. It's amazing. It's the people that are very loving, you know. Ghana basically is one of the best African country to be in. It's not like how people, and I want to tell you a story. You know, when I was in Africa, people think that maybe it was a jungle and there's so many animals going around. The first time I saw a lion was in Canada, not in Africa. You didn't believe this. So it's not like all these animals that most animals that I've seen is in Canada, not in Africa, so it's not like how they tell a story. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, yeah, because our stereotypical minds go towards it's either jungle or desert. You know what I mean? And that's it. But you're telling me that this was a well-civilized city, Ghana.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's great. That's the type of things that I love to hear. You know what I mean? Because we want to break those stereotypes. We don't want to sit there and go, well, every country in Africa, they're in little mud huts and there's animals all over the place, or it's a desert. And if you go 3 miles outside of town, it's all sand and oases and stuff like that, and snakes and all that. There's nothing good there. But no, Ghana, as you say, is very beautiful and civilized.
And I learned how to speak English in Africa. No, yeah, in Canada. So basically, all my family, the little kids, nephews, they all speak fluent English. You wouldn't believe it.
Fantastic. See, and those are the type of things we need to quash those. So, and we wouldn't be able to do that without someone like you. So anyway, so you get to Canada, you're 14. Where are you in the next 5?
Well, but my sister said I'm the last 2.
Oh, you're okay. So you're towards the baby of the family.
Share my brothers here in Canada. I got my sister in the United States, Pennsylvania, and I got 2 of my brothers back in Africa.
Him often?
Yeah, I talk to him every day, and I talk to them.
You talk to everybody every day?
The ones that want to talk, I have a conversation.
How does your sister like living in the States?
She really likes it. The president. I mean, she's happy for it. She's very happy.
Yeah. Good. I'm just going to assume that she came in, the right way, right? She came in
the right way.
Yeah. Well, not safe. Is she a citizen or she's just permanent resident?
She's permanent resident.
She's fine. She's fine. It's only undocumented. That's the only ones. And because it's a crime. It's a crime. So we'll get past that here in a minute. So you get to Canada at 14. So you ended up going to high school in Canada?
Yeah, I went to high school over here, and I also went to college and university here. But
nice.
When I was there, I realized that that's not what I wanted to do. I really because I did business computer system. I was psychology, but that is not who I am. My thing is to inspire, to elevate people. So I don't want to put in one box to go sit in the office and work. That is just me. I knew what I wanted to be since I was a kid, is to elevate and inspire people to become good, the best of the best, to be the best they can be by themselves. So I realized that I can't do that in going to university. And I was grateful to go, but when I finished, I get a job and I was sitting in the office. I said, this is not for me. So I walk away.
Really? I like to elevate people. I'm an endurance coach. That's a side hustle, if you want to call it. Yeah. This is a passion project, but I have a regular job that I do every day. Yeah. But just like you said, it doesn't define you.
No.
It just is, it's the way you put money in your bank account. That's it, and stuff on the food. So if you quit right away, what did you end up doing?
I get into a trading Forex.
Did that for a little while?
Yeah, I get into trading Forex. I was trying to hide my talent though, because I'm a speaker. I like to be in public and elevating people. So like even anywhere I go, like the crowd come around me because I'm a social person. So you can see when I talk, when I go out, people want to come around me to come and hear me talk. So it's just who I am. I was born like that. I cannot hide who I am. So I didn't want to come in public, So I was doing trading, try to hide who I am. So I trade, and it's boring because you stay home, you're making money and money is coming in, but you're just making money. And it's like, that's all it is. So I said, no, this is not for me. I got to go out there. I know how to trade real good. I was doing crypto, I was doing Forex, and I was doing options.
Futures? Okay.
And all that kind of stuff. So I was really good at it. I know how to read a chart. I studied this for 25 years. I actually went to school to study it. I had a course in the United States that taught me. So I bought the course and I studied it. I became really good. So I know how to trade, and I can even do a course with it, but that's not what I want to do. I actually want to elevate people to become who they are born to be. People have real issues in life, right? About weight loss and all that stuff. So that's what I'm focusing on right now. You have to focus and put in so much work. It's not like you just come in and you understand it. You have to educate yourself and to become well taught so you don't lose all your money.
Yeah. Yeah. No. I get it. Like I said, I coach endurance athletes and I've been doing that for 15 years. And that's how I learned. I learned because I was competing, but coaching and competing are totally two different things. And yeah,
Yeah.
I had to keep taking courses, keep watching videos, keep looking at the latest research, looking at different case studies on what, basically it's training theory, the right things for the right people. So I get it. I totally get it. And that's, people have got their lives changed by the stuff that I talk about. But we're not here to talk about me. We're here to talk about you. So you were first in a job and then you came back and now you're learning Forex. So you're basically sitting behind a desk,
Yeah.
right? And is that how you started realizing that, you know what, there's some pounds that are starting to come on. Where is this coming from? How did you start feeling like you were starting to gain the weight that you were talking about?
Yeah, but I was doing the forest and I wasn't going out to do any activities.
Right.
So you might just imagine you are home, by yourself and, going out doing nothing. You're making money at home. You're comfortable. Overeating, it became a habit. And I find myself weighing 224 pounds, and that's the worst thing that ever happened to me. And I didn't even realize how big I was. I did not
Really?
realize it. No, I didn't realize it. And I begin to realize that when I go to bed at night and when I'm breathing, I was struggling breathing. It was becoming very heavy. Like, it's like you're
Yeah.
carrying another person's body on your body, So being overweight is not a good thing. There's so many complications in it. And that's the reason why I'm so passionate about this book here, because my whole goal is to make people become healthy through this book here. And I hope that they find something of what I'm trying to show them, because I feel like this is going to help them actually change their life. So I became overweight. And the thing that bothers me is that one day I was walking down in the park, right? A random person called me. I'm excited to what he's going to ask me. Then he looked me in the eye, and this is what he said to me. He said, "Dude, you are fat."
What?
Oh yeah, just imagine.
This is not a really good friend.
Just imagine you go in a park and somebody call you and say that to you.
Yeah.
I look in the eye. I walk a little bit. I look back and I said, "Wow, this guy tell me that." When I went home, it actually took me a while to get this off my chest. I look at myself. I'm fat. I was fat, and I said to myself, "This is time for me to lose weight." So I made up my mind that it is time for me to drop this pound. So that was like something that woke me up, because I was breathing, struggling breathing, and I wasn't paying attention. And even one day, I was sitting down with my brother, and he told me, "I can hear you breathing from that far, but you need to lose weight." But I wasn't listening to them. So I made up my mind to want to lose weight now. That's why I started the journey about losing weight.
Well, and that's amazing because obviously you've got a very, strong, thorough mindset because like you said, you went in, you started this job and you're like, nope, that's not for me. I got to find another way to make money. You looked at the Forex and you says, okay, well, at least this I can do at home and I'll learn this. And you stuck to it. You said you had a coach, you went straight through it, you learned it. Now you're making enough money to live on, trading Forex. So, and then now all of a sudden you find that you're overweight and now you made the decision. So what did you do first?
Yeah, I guess, the first thing to do when, you find yourself overweight is to go to the gym. So I went to the gym.
Typical.
And I started working out. And like I said to you from the very beginning, that I'm a very stubborn person and super determined. Right. So I thought this wasn't very easy because I'm not somebody that give up that easily. I don't give up, by the way. So I went to the gym and I dropped the pounds down. And what started happening to me that when I dropped the pounds down, in a couple of weeks or a month, I'll gain the pound back again, the weight back again. And I'll go to the gym. I'll lose the pounds in a couple of weeks or a month. I'll gain it back again. So the habit that I have over eating in the middle of the night, like I'll go to the gym and I'll go eat food that doesn't suit me to maintain my weight. But I couldn't control it. I could not control it. I even went and take medication to lose weight. So I was taking some medication and I dropped the weight and I'll go and eat a certain way, eating food that I'm not supposed to eat. But I could not control the food that I eat. It's like a habit, Right. So you will lose the weight. The issue wasn't about losing the weight, no. The issue was about the habit of going to eat those junk food and getting the weight back again. So I'll go eat those food again. I could not control it. It's like this was beyond me. And I would gain the weight back. And this was going on back and forth, back and forth. I said, no, there's something wrong with this. So I even hired a personal trainer to train me because I want to go deep to this. So when he trained me, I will lose the weight and I'll go back to my old self, eat all sorts of junk food and gain the weight back again. So I realized that there's more to it than this. So I begin to start reading to find out why people have a certain kind of habit that they can't break through. So I bumped into a book that talk about the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. That's how I find out what's happening to me. So I became aware, which you already know, maybe the fans of people are listening. Your conscious mind is your thinking mind, and the subconscious mind is your habitual mind. So I have unconsciously programmed my subconscious mind with a certain kind of weight goal that was affecting me. Every time I lose the weight, it causes me to actually gain the weight back again. So I became aware that until I change that program I have inside my subconscious mind, I'll keep struggling. That's why I come out with the title of this book.
Well, that's definitely another way to think about it, because most people would be like, all right, well, let's go into the numbers. That's what I do for my clients. When they tell me that, hey, I'm a little bit over, what can we do? And I'm like, well, I can structure your program. So when you're out there, and I said, but the rest of it is diet. So let's figure out calories in, calories out. Let's see what your RMR is and go from there. But you're talking about strictly reprogramming your brain.
Your brain. So actually, reprogramming. The thing is that people don't understand how powerful this subconscious mind is. The subconscious mind is so powerful. Like it's a million times more powerful than your conscious mind. Okay, let me give you an example about how powerful it is. It's where all habits are formed. And basically, the first time you rode a bike, when you sit on the bike, you went on the side, right? You went on the side. So this subconscious mind is programmed by repetition. Okay, so when you're doing something over and over and over, it takes a program. So the first time you drove a bike, when you drove the bike, you went on the sideways. But as you keep on going over and over and over, and the subconscious mind take the program. Once you take the program, you become aware of driving the bike straight. So even you could sit on the bike and do so many stuff one hand because the subconscious mind have the program. The same way of driving a car. The first time you learn how to drive a car, when you sit in the car for the first time, okay, you're uncomfortable. You're looking like that. You don't want to look around. But after a while, you do it over and over. It became a program inside your subconscious mind. So when you sit in the car, that subconscious mind takes over the car. You're driving the car, but you could do so many stuff because it has a program. The same way with a weight loss. You see, the thing is that when you unconsciously program your subconscious mind with certain kind of weight goal that you don't know, the subconscious mind is so powerful, it controls 95% of your thought. So it will cause you willingly to do things that will make you sustain the weight that you unconsciously program it. This is what has happened to people. I was struggling with this and I realized there was something behind this. So once I figured this out and changed the program, guess what? I didn't struggle anymore. That's why I came out with this book.
So basically, it's because most of your life or most of while you were there, you would have your certain habits that you did during the day. And then every night, that was your time. Whenever you ate, that's what you ate. So even though you went to the gym and you'd lost it all by exercise, but you'd come back and you'd sabotage it because you would be eating things that you shouldn't have eaten. So you'd go to the gym. You said you dropped the weight in 4 or 5 weeks. Did you just stop going to the gym at that point?
No, I didn't.
And then you came back, and was it like this, or was it consistent, but you would keep gaining it back?
The thing is that when I go to the gym, I'll lose the weight. Okay? When I lose the weight, well, I keep on going. I will lose the weight, right?
Mm-hmm.
I have this habit that was ingrained in me that I didn't know that was considered causing me to eat junk food, even though I was going to the gym. So I forced myself to stay away from the habit by going to the gym. And as I'm going to the gym, I'll start eating this food again. So it wasn't, see what I'm saying? Like
you're cycling.
It was a habit. One thing I realized is that this thing is so powerful. I want people to become aware of that. That subconscious program that many people that are struggling with weight loss have unconsciously programmed themselves with a certain kind of weight. Because when you go to the gym and you come home, every time you stand on the scale, you know how much you weigh. You have that in your mind. When you look at yourself in the mirror, you can see whether you're skinny or you're overweight. As you are doing this consistently, it programs your subconscious mind. And that subconscious mind will tell you that until you change this image, I will cause you to eat food that will make you remain as you program it to be. Okay. So when you change that image, it will cause you to do things that will sustain the new image that you program it. So even when you go to the gym this time, you will lose the weight, but that subconscious mind will influence you to eat food and do stuff you are not used to doing before. That will make you sustain the way that you program it. This is a secret.
Interesting. Yeah. So one of the things that I don't, and it's kind of a programming thing, but sometimes what I would do if people would tell me that, hey, coach, I mean, I'm in good shape, but I'm still like overweight and blah, blah, blah. And I'd ask them what the habits are. We figured out. And I was like, okay. I'm like, when you're going to grab something that you know is not good for you, like Oreos or a sundae or something, tell you what, take that before you eat it, go to your bedroom, close the door, strip down to nothing, and eat it while looking in the mirror.
Exactly.
So when you eat that, you're like, all right, do you deserve this? Are you seeing what you want to see? And how do you feel now? Now they just feel guilty, and there's like, and 9 times out of 10, they're like, you're right. And I just put it down. But the problem with that is that it's just like you said, you get ingrained in that, right? Now all of a sudden I got some guy that's ripped 6-pack, is like totally like veined out, and he's like at 8-9% body fat. He looks amazing. But when he looks in the mirror, he doesn't see that.
No,
he sees what he saw before, no matter what. And not as much with men, but with women. More women are like that than men. But men, I have had some men do the same thing. You tell me that you want to lose weight, and so I bump up their program. So they are burning more calories. And my idea is like, all right, I'll bump up your program so that you're burning a little bit more calories, and you just keep your diet. But they bump up calories, which means they get more hungry because they've exerted more, more calories, and now they make up for it. Like, all those excuses. Mm-hmm. But that's when I tell them, okay, eat your cookies in front of a mirror. Eat your cookies in front of a mirror.
Yeah.
You could do that. Then you like what you see, and you go from there. So that's amazing. How can you give us a example or a habit that you got into to start, just like I said, is to start keeping yourself from those bad habits that you were having, eating late at night and so on?
So what I did is that I reprogrammed my subconscious mind with my new weight goal. I wanted to weigh 163 pounds. So when I reprogram it through the steps that I have in my book, this is what happened to me. I'm a guy that like to eat overnight food. Like I like to eat late at night. This is my habit. I eat big meals, 3 square big meals. I couldn't control it. This is just who I am, and I eat a lot. And this was my habit. I couldn't break it. So once I reprogram my subconscious mind through those steps that I have in my book, my 4-step method, what happens to me is that I realized that I lost interest in eating that way. I was beginning to do things that actually sustain my weight. I never used to like food. There was one food called dragon food. Yes. And all of a sudden, I began to have interest in eating food and doing stuff. I developed a different, complete habit out of nowhere. Start eating stuff and doing activities that sustain my weight. And now, after this time, there's a new habit I have. I can eat a certain way that sustain my weight. It's a part of me now. So it becomes, that's how I knew that this was real. And I even tried to follow my friends, and they're overweight and they're skinny up. And I said, no, I have to put this in the book. There's no way. People need to know about this stuff here,
Yeah.
But,
no, that's for me. Yeah. So basically it's like focusing on the goal. And then, this is some of the things that I even talk about. And then you replace it. You replace stuff.
Yeah.
For you, what was going on was that you were so focused on the goal that you stopped having interest in eating at night.
Yeah.
But that you ended up subconsciously replacing it with good stuff.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's the same thing. Like I've got a horrible sweet tooth. Horrible. But instead of going after chocolate and stuff like that, I eat watermelon and berries and, and stuff like that. And just a tablespoon of honey. And that's rare. That's just a rare thing. It's almost like a treat. And yeah, because I have a horrible sweet tooth. But for me, it's like meat and vegetables, meat and vegetables, meat and vegetables, some fruit, and you know what I mean, once in a while. Yeah. So, but that's amazing. So there's these 4 steps. Do you wanna give us what just the high level of what those 4 steps are?
But basically, we have imagination.
Mm-hmm.
Imagination is the first one. The imagination basically is extremely very powerful because there's a secret behind this imagination. Your subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between what is imagined and what is real. Okay, so when you imagine yourself, it takes it literally as what you imagine, you know. So when you keep on doing it over and over, you have to, like, for instance, like you go in a mirror, look at yourself in a mirror. You have to envision yourself and imagine yourself
Okay.
the size that you want to be. Athletes does it all the time, and all the actors does. Even Jim Carrey used to imagine himself that, the story with Jim Carrey. So basically, you imagine yourself about the goal size, how much you want to weigh. Imagine yourself filling your pant, standing on the scale, seeing yourself weighing the size that you want to weigh on the scale, hearing a friend of yours congratulating you, saying, wow. Or maybe your partner or a kid, wow, you dropped so much pounds. Look how much you weigh. So as you keep on doing this consistently, doing everything you want to do, imagination, and hear people telling you this stuff here, and you see yourself like you're wearing a certain kind of clothes that never used to fit you, going out there, your friends say, wow, you lost so much weight. Do this over and over in your mind consistently, become a habit. You begin to see you yourself doing stuff that will sustain you. Basically, all you do is trying to program your subconscious mind to cause you to do things to sustain that way that you program it. But you have to do the work though, meaning that when you lose this weight, you're not going to gain the weight back again because the program is actually going to support you to sustain the weight.
So creative visualization. So you creatively envision what you're going to look like. So that's 2 things that have been very well tested out there. And you can check a bunch of studies: creative visualization and starting with the end in mind.
Yeah.
So, hey, this is how I want to look. And I look in the mirror and I see that. I hear in the background, I hear my friends telling me how great I look and blah, 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 so that I'm consciously, hitting my subconscious. Okay, that's great. That's fantastic. You're right along with all the experts. What's number 2?
Number 2 basically is affirmation.
Okay.
Affirmation, basically, you have to write an affirmation. I'll give you one affirmation, basically, just for people hearing me,
Mm-hmm.
Basically, you can say, I'm so happy, grateful, and thankful now that I already weigh this much. And I'm very grateful and thankful. I'm so happy, grateful, and thankful now that I already weigh this much. And I'm very grateful and thankful. So you have to write this affirmation and affirm it over and over. So you program the subconscious mind through repetition, affirm it over and over and over and over to become a part of you. Once it becomes a part of you, it can also cause you to actually manifest what you're looking for. So through affirmation. And in the books, I talk about step by step. I've written so many affirmations that step by step how to use it to program your subconscious to accomplish your goal. So it's very simple and easy when you have instruction, somebody telling you in the book to follow,
Perfect. All right. Step number 3.
Step number 3 is basically a recording and listening. Recording and listening. Basically, you could program your subconscious mind by recording your own affirmation with your own words and listen to it. So as you are on the way going to work, you play your own voice. Any voice you're comfortable with. You record it with this affirmation, that any affirmation that you want to write about losing weight. Everything's written in my book. And you play it over and over. Put in a repetition. You could go to bed, listen to it as you go to sleep to program your subconscious. The best way to program your subconscious mind through sleeping. So when you go to bed at night, you can put in your ears and the headphones and go to bed. Watch this program you watch you go to bed, And early in the morning, when you get up in the morning, or when you're driving your car, you listen to radio. Basically, you're trying to program your subconscious mind that will cause you to actually do things that will sustain your weight, that you don't have to fight against your own self, right?
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. And now with you can get that affirmation read to you by anybody. So I would have my affirmation read to me by Jessica Alba.
Yep. The written method, the written method. Basically, with the written method, every time you pick up a pen and you are writing, You're thinking what you're writing. As you're writing, you're programming yourself through writing. They're very powerful stuff. So you know how they say you should write your visions down? The reason why they tell you to write your vision, because when you write, you're writing into your subconscious mind. People are not aware of that. So actually, some people, you go to write your vision down all the time, keep on writing it down all the time. But so as you're writing it down, you are programming yourself through the written. So you can actually write your affirmation over and over consistently. But I mean, for you to write something, you have to think about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So as you're writing, you're actually programming yourself.
So basically what you're saying is by following these 4 steps, because you're constantly writing in it, but you'll automatically find yourself, all right, I'm reducing the amount of food I eat because I'm thinking about this. You'll automatically start thinking about, all right, I got to get to the gym. I got to move. Where does the handoff? You know what I mean? So basically you're saying, because like me writing stuff or listening, talking, visualizing, none of that burns calories. I mean, they do. It's just very small. Mm-hmm. So where do you find that translates into going to the gym, changing your diet?
What it does is that, when I was talking before, I told you that I will go to the gym, okay? Mm-hmm. And I'll lose the weight and I'll gain it back. So the issue is not about losing the weight. The issue is a habit. What you're trying to do is that you are trying to break a habit inside your subconscious mind, okay? Because this habit, you condition yourself unconsciously without knowing. You're not even aware of it. And it's programmed into your subconscious mind. And this weight goal, this program is causing you to do things because the subconscious mind affects 95% of your actions, your thinking and your action, your behavior. So it's like when you have a habit of doing something, you don't need nobody to motivate to go do it. You just go and do it. Why are you doing that? Because the habit that's ingrained in you. So when you change that habit, it causes you to do things that will make you lose the weight. That's the whole point of the book.
So the subconscious mind will be like, hey, this is your goal and you're going to have to do this in order to it. And then all of a sudden, instead of feeling like I have to go to the gym, it's I want to go to the gym. My body is leading to the gym because I need to lose these calories. I need to go outside and run. I need to get on my bike. I need to stand up and work instead of sitting down and working.
I have a question for
my body. This is how you get to that goal.
I have a question for you.
Go ahead.
You have a craving of eating a certain way, right?
Yeah.
You were saying that. Okay, so you say you have a sweet tooth. Okay, so basically that is a habit. So when you desire to want to do that, that's a subconscious mind playing on you to go do what you're supposed to do because that's the habit. So when you change this habit, it will cause you to do the same, like your habit that you have with eating that way, to do things that, so it will become your desire. You have the desire in you to go do it. So when you have that desire, it's easy for you to do it. And even when you lose the weight, you won't have the desire to go eat junk food no more because you change the program.
Yeah, because then all those new desires will pop up. This is not only a 4-step method for weight loss.
Yeah,
this could be a 4-step method for learning, for obtaining that goal position that you want, or becoming an entrepreneur or whatever. You just follow this 4-step method. That's great. That's fantastic. But I like that you framed it in weight loss because that is like the number one issue that everybody's got, right? So at the time of this recording, we've just like flipped into 2025. And so we're at that point where everybody's like, okay, I just got off the holidays, feeling this a little bit, So it's a perfect time for anybody to go pick up, Richard's book. You'll keep struggling to lose weight until you try this 4-step method of losing weight. Yeah, and it's on Amazon, and we're going to have a link in the show notes to that. And he's got it on Amazon, he's got it on Barnes and Noble, Google Books, Apple Books. So it's all there. Also, he's got a website, Richard Mantey. Oh, it's Richard T. Mantey @.com. And we'll have that in the show notes as well. I'll have those in the show notes as well. But so what I understand also is that not only do you have this book, but you just recently finished another book, right?
Yeah.
You want to tell us a little bit about that?
I'll bring it up over here.
There you go. Money Mindset Reprogram.
your subconscious mind for work.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah. And this book is also published at Amazon. I have it on my website, and it's about you growing up, like me, growing up in Africa. You hear your parent talking about that you don't have, and so you're being programmed as a kid growing up from the time you're a baby to 7 years old by the environment and the people you grow around with, and has programmed you with a certain kind of belief system about money that is affecting you when you grow up as an adult. Go out there, you go to university, you go to college, you're making money, but yesterday you're struggling financially because the environment you grew up in wasn't financially good, and it affected your belief system, and it's causing you to struggle financially, even though you have a very good job and you're making so much money, but you're unable to accomplish nothing with money. Every time you get money, something seems to always happen that causes you to lose what you got. So this is also an issue with people. Everybody likes money. That's why we're here. We work together to make money, to elevate each other, to make each other's life better. And so money believes that if your money is not good, and if you're making too much money, you are greedy. But I'm just here to say just a little bit about this. That money is unlimited and it's good for everybody. And the more you get the money, the more you can help people around you and to make people's life better. So money is a good thing. So you shouldn't have any money belief about how money is not a good thing. Money is a spirit, okay? And if you believe this kind of stuff within your mind, so regarding money will not come to you. For example, if you have a wife or a friend and you believe that your wife is not good or your friend is not good, they won't come around you. The same with money. It's just spirit, it's an energy. So you have to have a good mindset regarding money so it can come to you,
So basically what you're saying is that if you've kind of grown up in, let's say you grew up middle class, you were comfortable. So you're like, all right, I'm comfortable. I'm not like super rich. I'm not Elon Musk, but I'm also not, I'm not like struggling. But basically what you're saying is as you grow up, then you get to the point where, all right, I just want to maintain being comfortable instead of trying to surpass that and getting, and moving up the ladder. You end up sticking in that mindset. And what this is going to do is help you relieve of yourself so you can make that level up, which is what this podcast is all about.
Yeah.
It's giving people nuggets of information to help them level up in their lives and reach the potential they want to hit. So these are 2 books that I believe if you even are not on a weight loss journey, I think you should pick this up and read through, his 4 steps, because I think they'll help you with anything that you're doing. And then, of course, pick up the money mindset reprogram, your subconscious mind for wealth, and pick that up. And then I think looks like they're going to complement each other because it's kind of towards it's moving the same subconscious mind and reprogramming it. So I think I think both of those are fantastic. And you know what, ladies and gentlemen, these are not, none of these are super expensive. The paperbacks, they're very little. And that little bit of an investment could, literally change your life.
That's true.
So I think it's definitely worth it. And you know what? So we know, because just by coaching, right? I've got several methodologies and I've coached several people that have had different methodologies of coaching. Not every methodology works. Yeah. So this might not work for you straight up. But I bet you'll find a nugget in there. You'll find one piece. There'll be one piece in there that all of a sudden you'll implement and you'll be like, okay, that works, but maybe this doesn't. But that one piece will lead you on your research journey to find what you are looking for.
There's no harm in trying, right?
Right. Well, that's what you found, right? You kept yo-yoing, and then all of a sudden you're like, well, wait, what's the difference here? What's going on? And you learn to change your subconscious. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. So,
and also, I have a future book coming up.
Oh, another one! Look at this guy.
I have a book coming up. The future is about longevity. In the future, so look out for that book in a couple of months. I'll be publishing very soon on Amazon. So longevity, how to stay healthy and live long. So I have that one coming up too. It's very important. My books, I picked them for a reason. That's what we need on the planet here. So look out for that in the future too on my website. And also on Amazon.
Excellent. Yeah. So look on out for that one's on longevity. And then, of course, these 2 books. And we'll have all of those links in the show notes. If you happen to come by this recording much later in the future, still check the show notes, because I'll make sure that when that book does come in, I will come back to this episode and I'll put the link in the show notes, unless Richard and I have another discussion. Maybe we'll do that as well. So yeah, that's great. So this is absolutely perfect. I think these are well needed methodologies on both losing weight and then, of course, changing your mindset for wealth, but mostly about this weight loss method, because I think that a lot of us, we are in this yo-yo thing and we can't seem to break it. This will break it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us. If you are watching us on YouTube, please go ahead and hit that like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you always know when a new episode is dropping. If you're listening on Apple or Spotify, go ahead and comment or leave a review. And I don't even care if it's a bad review, because it'll always help us evolve this podcast. And who knows, maybe what you tell me, I'll change my subconscious and reprogram it to make this podcast even better than it is. So, Richard, I really appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. For Richard and myself, we'll see you in the next one.
Thank you for having me.
Well, that wraps up another episode of Life-Changing Challengers. I'm your host, Brad Minus, saying thank you for joining us on this journey of transformation. If today's stories inspired you, please take a moment to review, share, and follow us on your favorite podcast platform. Your support helps us reach more listeners and create an even bigger impact. Remember, every challenge is a chance to grow. Until next time, keep pushing, keep challenging, and never stop pursuing your extraordinary.